Hello everybody, Zelfie here, and today I'm doing a Cipher commentary over a practice match that I had. I am the one playing Sanaki this clip, and my opponent is Zelfie, who's playing Emblem. You can see in my first mulligan that I end up with the 6-4 Sanaki in hand, and my hand is really unproductive, and my bonds are even unproductive too. If I can, I'd much rather save Nanas until after turn 5, so I can start using the grab back my bonds. They were completely dead cards for the first 4 turns of the game, and so I choose to get rid of my main promo there and opt to get a better mulligan. I missed my main promo in this hand, but fortunately I get my good bridge, and what my good bridge allows me to do is flip a bond and discard a green card to grab back any Sanaki. And this is okay for turning back the turns. People will often opt to flip to with Emblem in order to grab back main promo, so having a slightly alternately priced way of doing that with Sanaki is very good as well. On top of that, this Sanaki also gives me 60 attack while on the front line, and this allows me to hit most of my targets that I want to in the early game, while still give me some type of sustainability or some type of bulkiness as well. He is trying to figure out what the Eluid support does, so we have to explain to him real quick. But after this, I just pass on. I'm also throwing both Sword and Curved Naga into the bond area. I think Sword is extremely slow in these types of matchups, unless if the Ephraim is playing some type of grindy list, which I have never seen before, then there's no real reason to keep Sword outside of removal for Erica 5-4. But I'm not at that stage of the game yet, and I have another Sword in hand, so it's fine. Also bonding the Curved Naga there is also fine. I'm looking at my curve, and right now my curve looks to be Sanaki into Tormod, and then on the next turn I'll Zelgius, and then figure everything out from there. And the Curved Naga can fit into that line of play, but you know, it's fine because I also have the Nana to grab it back on turn 5 as well. And another Nana out of my orbs, which doesn't really impact the game state for me, but what does is that he missed main promo, and he instead heals it back from here. And he also hits a Dragon Emblem here, which alters his curve very significantly, because next turn he's still going to have to use his 4-3, more than likely going to use his 4-3, or he's going to opt to play just on a curve game with the Mana Key here into Zephiel or anything else that's big and can come out after that. Unfortunately for me, I also chose not to deploy Tormod on turn 1, so that's gonna throw off my chances of getting Tormod off extremely early. As in, this turn, that's what I mean. I also missed my attack on Burr, and in order to prevent less attacks on my face, I'm gonna go ahead and throw away the crit here. I also don't really see myself getting a double Tormod in the future. I have much more dangerous things going on, so I instead drop the Tormod 5 and heal back that Sanaki. I also preemptively shuffled my hand here, messing around with my hand a little bit. I don't know what type of player he was, if he was gonna have Zephiel just immediately drop it, perhaps sniping my main promo out of my hand, but he goes for 4-3 Zephiel, or 4-3 Ephraim anyways, and I just go back to reorganizing my hand. He's gonna land, he's gonna throw an attack here, but unfortunately for him, it misses. If I didn't clear the Myrtle last turn, that would have hit because it would have granted Ephraim plus 10 buff. Now I unfortunately make the decision about my Nana here without using her effect, which is fine. I really wanted all the other cards in my hand this turn. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to drop the Tormod. I want some type of offensive tempo going into next turn, some way to help me clear Zephiel. I'm not too afraid of Zephiel right now, so I'm just not using this to protect myself. Also, I don't want to lose offensive pressure by putting Mist in the backline in order to keep the buff without being able to proc her as well. Once again, he's questioning how Sanaki works. I'm teaching him how it works. I drop out the Kurth and the Eluid out of my hand. He's a Sanaki skill. I'm just fishing for anything that might be helpful now. And those two cards at the very bottom of the barrel when it comes to useful skills. I also hit Eluid here on his Gale support, which is pretty nice. It just means I get the hit, I move Tormod back, and we're safe and sound. Now I'm pretty afraid of Zephiel. I have 3 hits in my hand, which is deadly, but I can still survive. I have 2 orbs, and I feel like I'm pretty safe, regardless. In fact, I'm trying to think of what I would want to nail off my hand. Perhaps a Zelgius would be fine. I only think I need 1 Zelgius in this matchup to halt his aggro for a turn, and then I can stabilize everything else behind that Zelgius. But he's just thinking for a little bit. I also want to take this time to talk about, like, Mist. Mist is very important, but Mist is also very fragile, where I need to keep her in the backline in order to give my Sanaki Undestructible. He's gonna go for the Zelfie buff, and I preemptively shuffled my hand at the start of the turn, so there's that. I also have to teach him how to use his discard, so there's that as well. Ultimately, not a bad turn for him. If he had a Gale in his hand, that would have been even better for him, because he could have deployed Gale on top of this, thanks to Ephraim's reduced deployment cost. He does hit the Sanaki out of my hand. It gives me the magic need. Oh well. I take it at 1 orb now, but I still have 2 evades, so I'd consider myself pretty healthy here. I'm just gonna throw both my evades out here as well, just because I don't want to be set to 0 orbs, just in case. I don't know what could happen. He could top deck Zelfie at any point in the match, and he's also going to hit a. Oh, I forgot to explain. I hit a Eliwood support off that, but he also hit Ephraim support, so he has to flip one to make sure that it hits. He also hits a Lolita support here as well, so I'm pretty much inclined to dodge anyways and make sure he doesn't get that excess card draw. I bought the Mist here because I have another Mist and I don't really need duplicates, and I am gonna go ahead and give the buff to Sanaki, you know, of course. I also like cover over Tormod just a little bit, like absolutely forgetting that I need to move him up first. I'm also gonna take this Nana and grab back a Kurth. I just want some extra beaters in my hand right now, but that's more of a next turn thing. And I deploy Mist, give my Mist buff to Sanaki so she doesn't, you know, pop herself. And I also declare my attack with Zelgius and give him the buff, so he's more likely not going to die from this. I use my Sanaki attack on Zelfie, and I get a Kurth Naga support, which is a dragon emblem that only works when you're equal to your lesser bonds than your opponent. I throw away a Kurth and a Zelgius. I think 1 Zelgius is enough, and it gives me the outs to, like, maybe throw out some dodges or just immediately play after next turn. And I end the turn with a Nana, Zelgius, and Sanaki in hand. And none of these result into a destruction on the field, because Zelgius grants himself anti-destruction, and Sanaki grants himself this, Mist grants Sanaki anti-destruction as well. Preferably, I think I wanted to snipe the Zelgius out of my hand, although I'd be perfectly fine with the Nana as well. The Sanaki I'm a bit scared of, just because I don't know what's in his hand right now, but as we're going to see in a couple of turns, or not a couple turns, in a couple of seconds, he's thinking about what's going on here. He's going to mod the Eliwood, which I find to be a strange decision at first, but it makes a little bit more sense when you see what he deploys and what else he has in his hand. He drops a Lolita here, and an Erica 1. Now, Erica is a card in his deck that's highly likely to have crits. In fact, I think it's the only other card in his deck that's that has duplicates, or more copies in one set. He goes for a double 4-blaze here, and this is where I disagree with him, because as we're gonna see, he's gonna declare an attack with Erica on face, and Erica's attack is gonna miss. Now, I know there was a chance for me to get a 10 support here, and Eliwood supports are also a factor too, but what I would have done here is I would have flipped one for Lolita and made sure she hit 90, and I would have flipped one for Zelfie and give it to Erica, and mostly because I don't really see many outs for him here. I mean, it's not a good solution either, because this Erica attack is gonna miss when it pops up. I'm still waiting for him to declare it. Yeah, he declares this, and because I have the Mist buff active, this misses because he's only 16 times 2, which results in 120, and because of the mist, I barely reach over that with 130. So I was kind of screwed. Though it is a good thing that his Lena will hit here, guaranteed, and Ephraim doesn't have the worst chances of hitting either. Ultimately, though, he should have also put Lena in the front line as well to grant Ephraim a buff, which could have also been another alternative to getting the extra hit here. Though the Ephraim, I think, selfs here, and it doesn't really matter. Even if I hit a 10 support, he crits, and I throw away a dodge. And he attacks me with Zephiel. I have no more cards left, and I'm a bit scared, so yeah, it just passes turn, and it's GG. I was gonna play it the rest of my turn, but he just starts dropping his hand, and yeah, that's it. I think I played okay. I think the main part about playing Sanaki is figuring out your curve and looking at those future turns. If you guys did enjoy this, though, leave a like, comment down below, and see. I don't know, if you guys saw any misplays with the way I played, tell me. And yeah, see you guys later.